They say that miracles rarely announce themselves with trumpets. Sometimes they tiptoe in on creaky paws. On July 24th, at the gentle hush of the Asheville Humane Society Adoption Center, a miracle of that sort took shape. In the usual swirl of hopeful faces scanning kennels, one woman stood apart. While everyday visitors scrolled through photos of puppies or settled for sprightly adolescents, she approached the desk with a single, startling request. "I want the oldest, most overlooked dog you have." That simple sentence sent ripples through the room, stirring tears in hardened rescue workers and setting the stage for a day nobody would ever forget. And yet, as the sun streamed through the windows, nobody could have predicted the two souls who would walk out that door and the hearts they would heal along the way. Most adopters ask for healthy, young, or a good with kids. Leslie Sachs asked for none of those. Asked for none of those. She didn't pore over glossy pictures of spry bodies or wagging tails. Instead, she fixated on rust and silver muzzles, on bodies that creaked with age. Her mission was radical, to give shelter space to those who'd lived in its corners the longest, those whose stories had been whispered over and over, until hope threatened to fade. When she voiced her plan, the staff exchanged astonished glances, their disbelief echoing in the quiet corridor. Yet Leslie's voice never wavered. "Please," she said gently, "show me your oldest, most overlooked friend." Her first meeting was with Sam, Ainger, 7-year-old cinnamon-coated mix whose brindled skin bore the map of her hardships. Red, irritated patches circled like tiny battlefields, tufts of fur missing where fierce itching once ruled. Sam had arrived 3 years earlier, surrendered by someone who couldn't handle her severe allergies. Though a kind family welcomed her briefly, they returned her after just 1 month. No mismatch of personalities, no new misbehavior, simply that scratch, 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 scratch. 6 long months Sam waited and watched as younger dogs found homes, her own chance slipping past her like a slow, mournful sigh. Yet as Leslie knelt before this gentle senior, the shelter's fluorescent glare softened into warmth. She looked past Sam's condition to a gentle gaze brimming with quiet gratitude. "See you," Leslie whispered, "and I promise, your best days begin now." But fate had another story tucked in its sleeve. Just down the hall, Brutus lay curled in his kennel, head resting on paws that had once sprinted freely. 13, his body was a patchwork of ailments, creaky joints that snapped like twigs, a heart that fluttered anxiously at the mere thought of being alone. Brutus had known home once, but anxiety gnawed at him so fiercely that foster after foster returned him, unequipped for the howl of loneliness he unleashed when left without company. His clock was ticking. The shelter's rules allowed no more extensions. The date stamped for his euthanasia hung over him like a guillotine blade. Yet one guardian angel on staff refused to leave him in darkness. Rotating her brakes so Brutus could bunk in her office, where hushed voices and gentle footsteps soothed his trembling. Still, the final hour loomed. Leslie's heart twisted as she learned Brutus's tale. She and her husband had just laid their family dog to rest, a loyal companion whose absence left the house achingly silent. In her daughter Sienna's 10-year-old eyes, she saw a mirror of her own grief. "Imam," Sienna had said, voice trembling, "I thought you'd be strong, but I've never seen you cry before." That raw admission stung Leslie with both grief and resolve. Here stood not one but 2 broken hearts in need of healing. Sam, with her scabbed skin and cautious gait, Brutus with his restless whimpers and eyelids heavy with fear. How could a single family bear the weight of both burdens? Shelter manager Meredith Pitcher filled in the details with quiet gravity. Sam required a specialized diet, rich in fatty acids and hypoallergenic proteins, her skin flaring if she strayed even briefly from the plan. Plus, her second return hinted at an unseen quirk, perhaps a jealousy of other dogs that flared behind closed doors. Brutus, on the other paw, craved constant companionship. Every stray footstep away sent him spiraling into panic. Medication might dull his anxiety, but it wouldn't erase the ache of solitude. Sundude. Leslie folded her arms, gaze drifting to 2 kennels side by side, one ringed with pill bottles and tiny bowls of greenish kibble, the other strewn with chewed toys and a blanket sewn with the staff's earnest encouragement. Then came a twist of fortune so slender it felt snapped from a fairy tale. Staff member who'd whisked Brutus into her office for a midday breather bumped into Leslie on her way to fetch a soda from the vending machine. There, amidst the soft hum of the machine, Brutus peeked out from behind a desk, eyes bright as if asking, How will you save me? Meredith recounted it later with a laugh. Brutus, meeting Leslie's gaze, must have pressed every heartstring in the room. The team nudged Leslie in his direction, certain she'd found her match at last. Yet, even as Brutus's tail gave a hopeful wag, Leslie's mind drifted back to Sam's soulful stare. All eyes followed Leslie. She paused between the two cages. Staff hearts thumped in unison. Pure joy at the thought of Brutus's rescue. Pure dread at Sam's potential disappointment. Finally, Leslie inhaled, lifting her chin with determined calm. Determined calm. You want them both, she announced, voice steady as moonlight. A hush fell, then exploded into cheers, more jubilant than fireworks on New Year's Eve. Two very old, very needy dogs would leave together, bound for a home stitched with promise and a yard bursting with springtime laughter. Meredith's Facebook post captured the moment with sweeping empathy. Today, two souls have been granted their second chance. Sam, with her delicate skin and quiet resilience, and Brutus, whose heart pounded with loneliness, will stroll out together into a life of comfort. Post rippled across timelines, drawing tears of joy and flooding the shelter's inbox with gratitude. Volunteers gathered scraps of paper to scrawl a thank you, Leslie notes. Board members pinned flowers to bulletin boards. Even the vending machine guard got a cookie for her part in the miracle. Morning sun gilded the three-story home where Leslie, her husband, and Sienna awaited their new companions. Beyond the front door stretched 2 acres of fenced lawn, wild daisies nodding in the breeze like little flags of welcome. As Sam and Brutus stepped across the threshold, the world seemed to sigh with relief, the air fragrant with fresh-cut grass and the distant trill of cardinals. Leslie sank to her knees, arms open, and Sam pressed her weary body against warm jeans, nostrils quivering at the scent of lavender air freshener. Brutus, on unsteady legs, padded forward, his paws pressing damp earth into the mat by the door. He tilted his head, registering the hush of a home that would never leave him alone again. That moment, soft, golden and brimming with new beginnings, felt like sunrise itself. As Leslie led them to the backyard, her voice fell to a whisper. You two, no more waiting. Go! Sam's ears lifted at the word a treat, and Brutus let out a curious waft, as though asking what came next. In that expanse of green, they discovered miracles hidden in the simplest pleasures. Sam plodded through clover, her skin soothed by a gentle breeze. Brutus sniffed mint leaves tucked at the garden's edge, his heartbeats growing calm. Leslie watched them with tear-glazed eyes, every blink a testament to years of longing fulfilled. And when she finally spoke, it was as if launching a promise into the sky. Enjoy every crumb of love, every second of care. You've earned it. But the best was yet to come. Back at the shelter, the empty kennel stood as silent witnesses to 2 remarkable journeys. Volunteers lingered, wiping away stray tears, whispering to each other. This will be the story we tell for years. The staff placed fresh photos of Sam and Brutus on the wall, framed beneath a sign, reading second chances. They knew that tomorrow new faces would file in, some seeking puppies, others longing for companionship, but none would ever forget July 24th, when a woman's singular act of kindness illuminated the darkest corners of their world. Leslie's passion didn't start or end with Sam and Brutus. Sam and Brutus. Over the years, she had opened her heart to more than 50 dogs overlooked for myriad reasons. The deaf ones, the blind ones, the shy or the scarred. Each adoption was a chapter in a boundless story of redemption. Each time she returned a dog to health and happiness, the shelter exhaled relief, knowing that hope lived on through her unwavering compassion. And yet with surrenders and overcrowding climbing higher than ever, organizations like Asheville Humane Society teeter on the brink, relying on souls like Leslie's to tip the balance toward kindness. You don't have to adopt to make a difference. You can foster a frightened pup, handing it a lifeline until its forever family arrives. You can donate supplies or dollars to fill empty bowls and patch cracked walls Or you can spread the word, share photos, tag friends, let every heart know, the quiet wag, the tentative bark, the soft nuzzle of gratitude. All speak of a priceless love. Sam and Brutus now live their days on lazy afternoons and star-strewn evenings, secure in the knowledge that they are worthy. Are worthy. They say a thank you in every slow blink, every sigh of contentment, every wag that trembles with relief. And as long as there are broken spirits in need of a home, the story of these 2 seniors will remind us. Sometimes, the easiest way to rescue ourselves is to rescue another. When you think of your own home who might be waiting in the wings, longing for a second chance, Maybe it's the rattly old furball at your local shelter. Will you be the one to open your door and your heart?